Howie Roseman has hacked the NFL, as the Philadelphia Eagles have been the most active team so far before the trade deadline, and GM Howie Roseman deserves all the flowers and praise for his deadline moves and the way he went about them. I'll discuss this all on another edition of Eagles Digest. What's going on, guys? Alex Brooks back here on Eagles Digest to give you guys everything surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles. And is the NFL trade deadline today? Was it yesterday? Is it tomorrow? I'm not really sure, because Howie Roseman is just making moves every single day like his life depends on it. That's his job, and we got to be so appreciative that we have Howie Roseman in Philadelphia. But before we get into everything surrounding these deals, we are currently at 859 subscribers on the channel. Our goal is to be at 1,000 subscribers by the time we reach Monday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. So if you guys want to see more content like this, you guys better hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on everything surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles. And getting right into this video, as Howie Roseman, I'm going to tip my cap to you, because you are one of the best GMs in the NFL, in NFL history. I'll say it. He is someone who is so self-aware of his team. He knows what to do at every single moment, whether it is his team is like limited with the amount of guys they have on the roster. If there is someone that was a big time signing and he wasn't doing well with the Philadelphia Eagles, he doesn't just stick by the signing. He says that was a mistake and moves on. He is so self-aware, one of the most self-aware GMs, who puts his ego and pride to the side for the Eagles team and for their chance to get another championship. I mean, this is just looking at this deadline from the Philadelphia Eagles. It was big. Getting Jalen Phillips, Jaire Alexander, and Michael Carter II. And there is still over 24 hours left until the trade deadline is officially up. And starting off with Jalen Phillips, this was a fantastic move by Howie Roseman. If you haven't checked out our video on Jalen Phillips by Jack Kiley, you guys better tune into that video after you listen to this one. He breaks down about Jalen Phillips and what he can mean for this Philadelphia Eagles team. This was a fantastic move by Howie Roseman to get him for his own third-round pick. It was Jalen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles trade away their own third-round pick to the Miami Dolphins. And the thing about this move by by Howie Roseman to get Jalen Phillips is that Phillips has, the best pass rush win rate and pressure percentage of all of the Eagles defensive linemen this year. I mean, he has a 19.3% pass rush win rate and an 18.1% pressure percentage. I mean, this is just improving this defense tremendously. I've said it before on previous episodes how Jalen Phillips can have that instant impact for this Philadelphia Eagles team. He's been dealing with injuries over his career, but he is someone that when he is healthy, he is one of the best defensive ends in all of football. And I mean, looking at what the Eagles owe him the rest of this year, just a little over $500,000 of the money Jalen Phillips is owed. Dolphins are eating the other $6 million. I mean, just an insane move by Howie Roseman to not only get Jalen Phillips on your team for your own third-round pick, not even the Jets' third-round pick, but having the Dolphins eat most of the contract, and you're basically getting him for free. So if he does well for the Philadelphia Eagles, then that is a great reward. If he doesn't, and he doesn't end up being what we're projected him to be in this defensive lineup, then you know that you can just cut ties after this year. You don't have any sort of like bind with him, and you're only owed him $500K. So it is something right now that Howie Roseman is able to do so well with this deadline to get Jalen Phillips, and just being able to not have any sort of money troubles or contractual bindments right now with the defensive end from Miami. But a little bit more on this deadline that I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about is that Howie Roseman has been with this deadline a little different than he has in the past. He hasn't gotten, guys like right at the deadline. He hasn't like just waited until the last day. He has been so early in his approach. I mean, this is something that is pure genius by Howie Roseman, because when you look at this trade deadline, you're looking at all the moves that, may be made from other teams. It's most of the time it is deals that are made on the trade deadline. There's multiple moves that are made, the morning, the afternoon, and then like right before the trade deadline. Howie Roseman's not waiting for Tuesday. He is getting the guys right now and not trying to wait until another team comes in and swoops up the players that he wants. And I think this is something that I really wanted to highlight, is that you don't need to wait for a move to be made to then drive up the price. You're looking at the price right now for Trey Hendrickson. The Bengals want a first-round pick for Trey Hendrickson, and that is insane for a guy who is only on a one-year deal and is going to be a free agent after this season. So you don't have much risk with getting a player right like days before the trade deadline. Like Michael Carter, he wanted him, he got him. Jaire Alexander, who I'll get into a little bit more, he wanted him, he got him. And then also Jalen Phillips today. Like there were rumors of wanting to get him at the right price. They got him at the right price, and it was just fantastic by Howie Roseman. And the other thing about these guys is that they all have familiarity, and I'll talk a little bit more about that moving forward. But, just looking at what Jaire Alexander was for the Baltimore Ravens, he doesn't have a lot of experience, or like he does have a lot of experience, but he doesn't have a lot of playing time this year with the Baltimore Ravens. But you know what you can get out of Jaire Alexander. He used to be one of the best corners in this league, best shutdown corners in this league when he was with Green Bay. He has a connection with Christian Parker with the Green Bay Packers when Parker was on the Green Bay Packers coaching staff. He's slowed down. He's dealt with injuries. But the thing about Jaire Alexander, he gives that cornerback room a leader. And I think that's something that the Eagles are missing from Darius Slay departing to Pittsburgh this year. They don't have someone who is going to be able to keep all of these guys grounded. You obviously have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, but they're only in their second year. Adoree Jackson isn't the guy. And Kelee Ringo hasn't had enough time in this system and time with the Philadelphia Eagles to be that leader on this team. So getting Jaire Alexander, it's more of just that leadership depth type of move, knowing that Alexander, he's had times where he is one of the best corners in this league. So if he's able to tap in with Christian Parker, with Vic Fangio, and just help all of these guys out, he can kind of gain that healthy competition with all of these guys like Kelee Ringo, Adoree Jackson, and Jacorian Bennett. Just another leadership, just another guy to come in here to try to go and get a championship, because he's hungry for a championship, being on a lot of good Green Bay Packers teams in the past. But a little bit more on Jaire Alexander and what he can bring. This was from ESPN insider Seth Walder saying, prior to this season, Alexander had a career average of 1 yards per covered snap, better than league average, with several exceptional seasons in there. He has been a second-team All-Pro twice, the last of which occurred in 2022. So this is definitely a guy who has been better in the past. He's been someone who is only 28 years old. He is not 30 yet. And he definitely is. The thing is, he's younger than when Darius Slay got traded over to the Philadelphia Eagles. So there's still a lot in the tank when talking about Jaire Alexander, and to get the most out of him, just knowing that he can be a safety blanket for the Eagles if they need it, knowing that they'll have that consistency on defense, and knowing that he can step up his game whenever, push comes to shove, is huge for the Philadelphia Eagles. A very underrated move by Howie Roseman. And, the other guy, Michael Carter II, a new slot corner for the Philadelphia Eagles. Just kind of looking more into Michael Carter's game. He was one of the best slot corners a couple years ago with the New York Jets, and being in this Vic Fangio system, he can learn that once again. He's been able to have that connection with Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas drafted him in New York, but now with Cooper DeJean most likely going on the outside, Michael Carter is going to have that spot in the slot and being able to have a starting position on a defending Super Bowl championship type of team. So not being on a 1-7 team that's not going anywhere. Now you got to step your game up and have a different type of attitude when looking at the cornerback position for the Philadelphia Eagles. A little bit more on Michael Carter. From 2021 to 2024, Carter allowed 1.1 yards per coverage snap, just a shade above average for a slot corner. His play was perhaps more impressive than the numbers suggested, given he likely received extra targets due to the quality of Gardner and Reed. And, this is definitely something where we look at the depth chart for the Philadelphia Eagles and where Michael Carter sits right there. Michael Carter is going to be that nickel back. Right now, it says Cooper DeJean is going to be in the nickel. Pretty much is going to be Michael Carter going to take over that nickel spot, and Cooper DeJean most likely on the outside. We'll see a little bit more as Vic Fangio talks about these guys throughout the week, knowing where each one is going to shape up. But looking at this defense, looks much better than it did before getting Jalen Phillips, Alexander, and Michael Carter, knowing that Nolan Smith is going to be coming back from injury. Jacorian Bennett's going to come back from injury. Azeez Ojulari is dealing with some injuries. Brandon Graham's coming back. There's a lot of these guys that are coming back from injury, coming out of retirement, joining the Eagles. So, there's going to be a lot of different pieces that you're going to see on this Eagles defense, but it's huge looking at what the holes that Howie Roseman had on his team, and he's able to plug and play with all of these guys. Jalen Phillips going to be a prominent edge rusher on this team. Jalix Hunt is going to be in there. Joshua Uche I've mentioned in the past. You got Brandon Graham. You got Nolan Smith. So you got a lot of different options that you can throw at each quarterback, and that's going to make offensive coordinators have a tough job when going up against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. So Michael Carter is going to be the slot corner, and then Jaire Alexander is there to help out Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean on the outside. So definitely think that these moves by the Philadelphia Eagles, by Howie Roseman, is paramount to who Howie Roseman is and who the Philadelphia Eagles are right now in this golden era of Eagles football. I know that there is a lot of, there could be a couple more moves that Howie Roseman can make right now, and we'll have it all on Eagles Digest, but I definitely appreciate that, even if most of these guys don't work out, Howie Roseman is at least trying and listening to the fans to try to get these guys for another championship run in 2025. But that's going to do it for another edition of Eagles Digest. Appreciate all the support you guys are giving us on this channel. Remember, subscribe down below. Comment your thoughts on everything surrounding this trade deadline. Who do you want to see be added to the Philadelphia Eagles before this trade deadline is up? Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Go Birds and fly, Eagles, fly.